Here agreed. Me it's guys, hey. Today, I want to talk about Genji, and that he's really bad. A lot of people will tell you that he's not. Those people are dumb, in the nicest way possible. I'm not going to say he's the worst hero in the game, because heroes like Hanzo exist, and Soldier, those heroes are just straight ass. But Genji is not doing very well. And I want to give a quick example for this, because a lot of people are going to say, his pick rate's high, his win rate's good, how could he be bad? I'll give you an example. Symmetra, right? Symmetra recently has been getting a lot of time in professional play and even unorganized play, like on ladder and things like that, where people are picking a lot of Symmetra, and that would probably mean that, oh well, Symmetra is probably a good hero then, right? That surely must be how it works. She's getting a lot of playtime, and where she is played, she's doing very well, therefore she must be a good hero. No, Symmetra sucks. Symmetra is absolutely terrible, but because people are playing her, that know how to play her, people are going to assume Symmetra is good. Just because Symmetra is getting more playtime than another hero does not necessarily mean that Symmetra is a better hero. It means that she's fitting into the composition better. For example, Tracer and Sombra. I mean, Sombra's kind of ass right now. I tried playing Sombra recently. She does no damage. And I'm bad. Anyway, Tracer and Sombra are pretty much objectively superior dive options, especially in organized play, but also in ladder, because they have a bit more solo play potential. They can control angles a little bit better. However, the main reason that Genji's getting a lot of playtime in organized play and unorganized play is because of his burst damage. He's the only dive DPS that's able to output so much consistent burst damage with his mobility, giving him survivability. So he has survivability and burst damage. However, it's not the kind of burst damage that Genji can use on his own, it's typically follow-up burst. For example, if a monkey jumps backline and lands on an Ana and he does this land melee combo for the burst, and then he starts zapping them, and then Genji comes in with a dash melee for an extra 90, you can burst down a squishy really, really fast. And that's the reason that he's getting a lot of playtime, is he's able to enable tank dive so much harder and secure kills so much easier because of his dash right click melee combo, and he's actually able to burst people down. But that does not make Genji a good character. In the same way, just because Symmetra can teleport Torb and all of these other brain dead characters balls deep into the backline, doesn't make Symmetra a good hero. And this can be applied to many heroes in the game. Let's take Mercy, for example. Why is it that Mercy is getting so much playtime in ranked? Is it because Mercy's a really good hero? Is it because Mercy is secretly strong? No. It's because Sojourn is brain dead overpowered, and Mercy is good at enabling a Sojourn. There are supports that are objectively better than Mercy right now. For example, Kiriko, Juno, Brig, Bap, Weaver. I think Mercy might even be the weakest support in the game. She's genuinely terrible, okay? But she's getting a lot more playtime than the other heroes because she must be good. Surely, if she's getting playtime, she must be good. And if her win rate's decent, that means she also must be good. But it's not. It's because Sojourn's getting played, and Mercy works really good with a Sojourn. In the same way that because a dive tank is getting played primarily, stuff like especially Hazard the other season, it means that Genji will also get a lot of playtime because he works really well with a Hazard, and he works really well against a Hazard. So that's why some heroes that are not good will get a lot of playtime or even do very well and have a high win rate, even though they themselves are not that good, right? So why is it that Genji is actually terrible? Well, it can be proven pretty simply. Well, maybe not proven, because it's relatively subjective, because there are scenarios where Genji can be very good. I think, in my personal opinion, he's bad, especially for ranked play. And organized play, I think he's absolutely fine. He's got his moment. In ranked, I think he's awful. Look at it this way. Back in Overwatch 1, Genji had 28 shuriken damage, and he was shit tier. He was awful. Then he got buffed to 29 shuriken damage, and he was shit tier. And that's back when all the health pulls were 200. He was still garbage, right? There was less healing, less survivability, less mitigation, less immortalities, duels were easier, angles were easier. Basically, the whole game was easier. He did more damage to targets that were lower health, and he was shit. Then he got buffed to 30 in 2020, and he became actually a very strong hero, and he started getting a shitload of playtime. Was he as overpowered as everyone says? In some ways, absolutely he was. He was fucking ludicrously broken in terms of how quickly he could charge Blade. It took him like 40 seconds to go from 0 to 100 if he just full sent the enemy team. That was dumb and should have been changed. But his actual dueling potential was relatively fair. It was easy to shut him down. He was like a glass cannon, okay? So I don't think he was as overpowered as people made him out to be, though Blade was fucking vile that patch and absolutely needed to be changed. So, back then, he was shit tier until he got basically the greatest buff in the history of Genji. He had never been buffed so heavily before, literally ever, and he still wasn't the best DPS in the game at that point. He probably was an organized play just because of how quickly he could build Blade, but it's just ignoring Blade, his actual dueling playstyle, he still wasn't the strongest neutral in the game. Now, fast forward to today, he now does 27 shuriken damage, the lowest he's ever done ever. He does 110 damage per blade swing, the lowest he's ever done ever, against characters with higher health pools, the highest they've ever been ever, and he's fighting supports that are healing more than they ever have been. They have more denial and mitigation than they ever have been. They've got more dueling potential than they ever have been. They're the easiest they ever have been. They require the least amount of effort to get the most amount of value out of in the history of the game. And people want to tell you that because it's 5v5, people want you to believe this character is good. He is fucking awful. If he was terrible when he was significantly better than he is now, how is he better? If he was awful a few years ago, when he was objectively stronger, how could he possibly be better now on his own? Oh, because when he has Hazard and he dash melee combos again, it's really balanced. He's still bad, right? He's not a duelist. He's so trash at dueling. It's genuinely pathetic how bad he is. He is full angle bot. He cannot do anything else. Your entire job is stand AFK until your tank dives, and then dash right click melee someone, and hope that your teammates finish them off. And that's literally all your hero does. So, some people are going to agree, some people are going to disagree, some people are going to say whatever, it doesn't matter, right? The actual case of the matter is, in my opinion, he's one of the hardest heroes in the entire game to play. I think Lucio, Tracer, maybe Ball is more difficult if you're adding in text and stuff. Maybe, maybe not. He's easily top 5 hardest hero in the game. He's also insanely weak. He's very difficult to play, like I said, and it's also very difficult to deal with all of the abilities that are so easy to use. For example, it's insanely difficult to try and kill a Kiriko. On Genji, the hitbox is tiny, she does a bunch of damage, she has so much mitigation, you need to be fast, the strafing pattern's weird, the way her hitbox moves while she's strafing is weird, and all Kiriko has to do to deal with you is press left shift or E, and that's it, you're done. So it's way easier to play against the Genji than it is to play as him. So that's another reason he's so bad. He's so fucking hard to play. But another thing, and listen, let me just address how I would change him to make him a better hero. Drop his health from like 250 to 225 or even 200. Make Blade so you cannot damage boost it anymore. It's not damage boostable. Revert the speed change you made before to the original slower swing speed, give him 130 blade swing, give him 30 shuriken damage, and that's it. I would take that. He would still be shit tier. Now, let me explain, because a lot of Genji players are going to go, what? You just nerfed the character. Yes, I did. The character would be absolutely fucking garbage still. However, he could go back to being his glass cannon, difficult to play, high risk, high reward, bursty, dueling character. He could go back to actually fighting. Because the reality of the situation is, the real reason Genji is so bad is because all of the other heroes around him just say, nuh-uh, you can't do that. Genji needs to put his entire life on the line to close the distance to secure maybe getting a duel. And all they have to do to get out of it or win it is press a couple of buttons, right? Which is super 8. So the actual way to fix Genji is to fix the supports in the DPS with their brain dead hypermobility things that, I mean, to be fair, there's been massive mobility creep, there's been massive mitigation and survivability creep. There's been a lot of things creeping up that make Genji harder to play in general. But genuinely, like I said before, the mitigation's the biggest problem. However, I would happily deal with all the mitigation if I could actually burst someone down. Now, obviously, a lot of people are going to still disagree with me. That's absolutely fine. I think the majority of the people that are going to disagree with me will probably be support players, because the role is so overpowered and the role is so brain dead broken and so easy to play. And a lot of them still get killed by Genji, which, you know, it happens. I play support to it. You're going to die to a Genji sometimes, okay? And that's okay. If it's okay to play that role. People need to play the role for the game to work, even if it is brain dead OP. So, let's stop for a second. Let's try to actually have an actual dialogue. I want you to go lock ranked. Go to ranked, lock Genji every game in your ranked games, and genuinely tell me that you think this character is overpowered, strong, easy to play, too strong, whatever it may be. Go unlock Genji. Genuinely try and play the hero, okay? And if you can tell me with a straight face after playing Genji for a couple of hours, you know what, actually, I do think he's still really strong. I think he's OP. Fair enough, right? Fair enough. No problem. The annoying part to me is the people who play like Kiriko all day and are like, oh, my hero's so bad because their stats on overbuff are bad. Wow, my hero's so hard, difficult to play and so bad and terrible. Buff Kiriko. Oh my god, this Genji just absolutely minced me because I made a mistake. Oh, I'm dead. Oh no, Genji OP. Right? If you're one of those people, log Genji, try to tell me with a straight face this character's not terrible. And if you can, genuinely, fair enough. Then I will accept that maybe I'm just bad. Maybe I'm just bad at Genji. Maybe I don't know how to play the hero. Maybe my rank 1 days of locking this hero and solo queuing him to rank 1 are behind me, and I'm not capable of picking this hero in high rank anymore. Okay? Anyway, have a good day. Have a good day. I love you. I love you so much. Have a good deal. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.